Today we are going to talk about camouflage and mimicry. Animals use camouflage and mimicry to help them survive in their environment. If you look at the two pictures below, there are two photos of frogs or toads that are blending into their environment. The one on the left is a little easier to see because it has some yellow, but it does blend in very well. If you weren't looking directly at it, if you were just passing by, it would be very easy to miss. And same with predators. It would be very difficult for them to see the frog as their prey. If you look to the right, it is even a little more difficult to see the frog in the middle of the screen. You can see one of the dark eyes. It really blends in to the leaves and the environment around it. I would like to focus in a little more on camouflage. Have you ever wondered why animals have spots or stripes or certain colors, or even to this picture to the right, how this bug blends into its environment in the sense that it looks like a leaf itself? Have you ever wondered why that happens? Sometimes an animal's color can be the difference between life and death. If they can't blend into their environment, the predators can find them much easier. So animals use their colors to blend into their environment, and this is what we call camouflage or camo. So some adaptations. Camouflage is a type of animal adaptation. What is an adaptation? An adaptation is something that helps animals survive better in their environment. If you look in the top picture, it is very difficult to see, but this is actually a fish that has a very kind of rocky looking scales, and it can blend in to the surface or the sandy part of the water, the floor of the water. It could be a pond bed, a lake bed, but it blends in very well. And if you look at the bottom, you see this rabbit that blends into the snowy environment. So this is probably a colder weather rabbit, something where there's a lot of snow or where it spends a lot of time in wintry type weather. So let's find some critters. See if you can find the camouflage animals in these pictures. The animals you are looking for are a deer, a frog, and a quail. In this first picture, if you look very closely, we are trying to find a quail. Now, during this time of the year, it is very easy to misplace an animal with these color patterns because there's a lot of browns and there's a lot of grays, not a lot of green colors sticking out because a lot of the grass is dead and the leaves have fallen. So it's easier for some animals to blend into their environment. Did you see the quail? The next one we are looking for is a deer. Look very closely. If you've ever been deer hunting before, you know you have to sit very quiet because they have pretty good hearing. But you also need to blend into your environment. You must have your camouflage because any bright colors can be noticed very easily. Now, if you look very closely, you can see a deer right in the middle of the screen behind some branches. Did you see it? If you weren't looking close enough, you would have missed it very easily. And the last one we are looking for is the frog. Did you find it? There it is in the top right corner. Frogs are very good at blending into their environment. With their green and brown colors, they can blend in to the mud and the moss that you might find around lakes and ponds. So mimicry. Animals may also try to look like other animals. For example, non-poisonous snakes will rattle their tail and flatten their heads to look poisonous to a predator. This is called mimicry, where an animal tries to mimic or copy another. Some snakes can actually make themselves look like a cobra by flattening its neck, even though it is not poisonous, which can scare off predators. So I would like you to tell me, which of these snakes is poisonous? Any guesses? We have a coral snake and a king snake. There's a little saying that we like to share in our science classes is, when red touches yellow, you're a dead fellow. Can you tell which one the red touches yellow? The bottom one. The bottom one is the poisonous snake. So some other forms of mimicry. How many of you have seen a butterfly that looks very similar to this? They are very common in our area. Another example of mimicry involves the monarch butterfly, which is toxic and very nasty to eat. Its bright orange coloration is a warning to the birds to leave it alone. The non-toxic viceroy butterfly has developed colors and wing patterns that are very similar to those of the monarch, and so most birds won't take a chance at taste testing. So because it looks so similar to such a poisonous butterfly, many predators don't even try to eat it because they know that it tastes so terrible. And that is our presentation on camouflage and mimicry.